All right, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at enumerating the an Active Directory domain or a Windows machine or something like that, enumerate users and things like that, utilizing DS query commands and also .NET commands, and trying to make sense of what you're in and what you're up against. All right, we're going to be doing that with PowerShell, not through going through LDAP or anything like that through Kali over there, or SMB or anything like that, going through not anything with Kali. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a DS query command, right? And we're going to do attack filter name. We're just going to look for star DC star. So this is anything that has DC in it, such as like a domain controller, right? And all we want to see is this name, operating system, and DNS host name. That limit is 0. That's to have an infinite limit, like right there, because it can only do up to, I believe it's 100. It'll only show up to 100, okay? Which that would be a pretty large network, but something like that, right? And we do see this invoke DC, and we do see this invoke DC.invoke.local. If we actually look at the host network right here, we see that this is invoke DC. Continuing on, right? Another command that we could do is try to find operating systems. Now we're not really going to be able to find much with this one. We can do like a star 10 or maybe like a star 7 or something like that. We can do a star 2022, right? And we see that this operating system is sitting there, okay? But this is the only computer on here. So if we did like a star 7 or something like that, nothing's going to come back, right? Or a star 10, most likely nothing will come back. Or maybe 11 or something. But we can start to try and enumerate the system for operating systems and see what type of operating systems are on there. We can also try with a computer, all right? But as you see, this is a server, right? So it doesn't really drop anything out. I don't know if you can actually put in server. I don't know if that actually works or not. We can always try server star, or if we do something like that. Yeah, okay. Just want to see if we can do something like that. But you can also do operating class computer. If this was a larger domain, we start to see things come back, right? So let's also go ahead and look at the groups. All right, we go ahead and look at groups with object class group right here. And we're just going to look at name, SAM account name, member, description. All right, so we're going to see the description of those groups. You can see that a lot of stuff comes back, right? So we got the name, the SAM account name, the members of it, right? Like right here. And then if there's a description, we would also see that, right? In these different groups that we have, like right here. Like right here, this one says DNS administrators group, right? That's DNS admins. These are the people that belong to it. And then here's this part like right here. Obviously, this can get very, it doesn't look the prettiest, right? So we could try to maybe get rid of description, or you can just try to get rid of member, all right? And just see this the SAM account name for it, how it's actually written out, right? The name is SAM account name. We can also just try to get rid of, let's say, let's go ahead and just get rid of name maybe, and just leave that SAM account name, and just leave member up there, right? So we don't see it twice. There we go. Okay. So we can start to break it down like that, see who's part of these different groups without actually writing something like Bloodhound or something of that nature, or Sharphound or anything like that, right? Next thing that we want to look at is when was the last logons, right? We can use .NET commands for this. Okay, we can also use DS query commands for this. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a DS query command. Let's go and grab a user first off. Actually, let's do a star. Actually, that was for the last logon, the epoch time, like right there. We don't want that one quite yet. All right, let's go ahead and just grab something like this, since we haven't figured out what the epoch time is for anything. SAM account name, let's put a star there. And we're going to look at last logons. All right, and we can see that there's a bunch of numbers in over here, and that's the epoch. Okay, that's what that is, like right there. So we can say, okay, cool, Dory Marika, right? What was her last logon, right? So we can go ahead and we can break down this time right here into seeing how can we actually look at what does that mean, like right there, right? So let's go ahead and we will throw this command is W32TM and TTE. We'll just grab Marina's right here. We'll do that. We'll hit enter, and it shows us the last logon time for that user. All right, now remember, something to remember about this is that this is the local time, not our time. This is the local time for the server, right? So that was the last logon time for the server itself. Okay, so if you don't know where the server is located at, it's most likely not going to be the same time zone that you are in, or anything of that nature. So we can also look at from there if there's any trusted domains, anything like that with DS query. All right, we can go ahead and put something like this in. All right, try to find trusted domains. We don't have any here, right? Don't know why I did it like that. Probably because we don't have any trusted domains, but it does not seem to like that command anymore. It did earlier. Doesn't seem to like it now. It doesn't look like I spelled anything wrong there, but who knows? Who knows why it doesn't like it anymore? But Windows, that's why, right? We can also try to look at trust directions, okay? Which it obviously also does not like. All right. Oh, that's because trusted domain from above. That's why we want to actually look at trust directions. And like right here, we actually see more information. But we could try to do something like this and put in attack D and put in another server name like right here and see if there is a bilateral trust like right there. Right. So if you see a 1 next to it, that means that the target domain trusts us, but we do not trust it. That's okay. That's okay. If you see a 2, that means that we trust the target domain, but it does not trust us. Okay, that's no good. We don't want to see a number 2 next to it. And 3 is a bidirectional trust. All right. Now what we can do is we go ahead and try to find maybe some admins in here. All right, start to break this down like a little bit. Try to look for some admins or something like that. And of course, my copy and paste is not working like right now to be able to do that, because that makes sense if it did. There we go. All right, so we can find everyone that has an admin count equal to 1. If they have an admin count equal to 1, that means that they are an administrator on the machine. So every user that has an admin count equal to 1, that would then equal to be an administrator. All right, again, this is all using just DS query so far, and now I'm going to go through and look at everything, right? So just to find all the users on the machine, we can do the same exact thing, except for this time we're not going to say admin count. And there's all of our users with all of our admin account names right over here, right? So we have all of our admin account names, things like that, and we know who our admins are. And then we could also see, okay, cool, what was the last time one of these admins actually logged on, right? So Edit, we remember her name. She said right here, that's an admin. We could break down her epoch time and see, okay, cool, what was the last time that admin actually logged on to the system for their local time, which was, it looks like a few days ago, because right now the local time for this machine is 4:08 a.m. on 10/22, so it looks like about 4 days ago was the last time that admin logged on to this machine, right? So we can also search for specific users. So let's go ahead and we'll say something like, I don't know, like AR, I don't know, okay? And this is every single person that has AR in their name going from an A to an R, right? So this is every single one. You can do it for users like that, or we can also search for specific users, such as in star.marika.star, because I'm not going to actually search for Dory, and then there we go. Okay, so maybe we only have last names or something like that, or like first names or something. We can figure out their SAM account names from there and continue to enumerate the system like that. Right, we can also look for users with descriptions, right? So we can do that and then see what the descriptions are of these users. And there we go. We now see a new user-generated password. And I don't know if you guys have seen this one before, like right here with the descriptions and everything like that, going through NetExec or LDAP search, something like that. This is just another way to be able to do it once you're already on a system. All right, and we'll continue on here. So we can also dump users, and there's attributes. All right, so we can do something like that and look at everything in there, right? We can go ahead and we can look at the description of them, what they're a member of, if they're a member of any groups or whatever else, their last logon, SAM account name, and just regular name, right? We can always break this down too, right? We can always say, hey, I don't really care about their name. I just care about their SAM account name because that's what we usually log in as. So we can do something like this. And we start to break this down and see what groups all these users belong to. I'll put that to a file and be able to utilize that for later use, be able to know what's going on within the system, things like that. Lastly, we can search for anything that has admin in it, right? There we go. Okay, so anything that has admin in it, we go ahead and search for. So these are all the different groups that have admin in them. Right? We got name, SAM account name, description, object class. We go ahead and get rid of that name again because we can say, hey, we don't really care about the name. The SAM account name is the group that I really want. There we go. All right, and it makes it a little bit easier to actually look at, right? We can also get rid of object class too, if you want to. But remember, finding a group within a group can become a problem, right? So this is to help us. That object class is to be able to start to look for if it's a person or a group, or maybe a group within a group, which most likely will not be found, right? So they can always have a group within a group that you won't be able to see. Now let's go ahead and let's start to look at .NET. Okay, so we can do a .NET accounts / domain. Right, and we can start to see the minimal password age, okay? Maximum password age, The minimal password length is 4. Length of password history maintained is 24. That's a pretty long history of passwords maintained. Lockout threshold, never. So that's a big deal for us. That means that we can sit there and just spray and pray all day. All right, lockout duration is 1 minute, although it's never, so it's not like it really matters. And that's our net accounts and the rules that they follow for those different accounts. Right, we can also look at groups. We do a net group, which is going to look at the domain groups. All right, you can do that, or you can do a net group / domain, just so you don't get confused. Okay, but as you can see, both of those are the same exact thing, and it says group accounts for invoke DC. All right, we know that it is the domain groups because we have domain guests, domain users, enterprise admins, things like that. To look at the local groups, we can do a net local group. All right, and then to look deeper into it, we can always do something like a net local group, I don't know, print operators. Right, and we can see, okay, cool. So this user is part of the print operators group. Right, so we can start to look into those groups a little bit deeper and see who actually belongs to those different groups, right? Another thing we can do is we can try to use net session, which I don't believe that we're going to find anything out here. This is usually used for shares to see if there's anyone that's within a share. We can also do a net view, all right, and then like a share name, which also is a hit or miss on the system. We can do a net view / domain. This is also usually hit or miss, and that tries to find shares and things like that. But you don't always find what you want to find, right? So nothing in there. Okay. If we have more servers, more things up and running, that might give us a little bit more information. We can also look for the domain SID with the reg query. All right. So we have our domain SID. We also have our user's SID like right here, things like that, right? And lastly, something I want to show in here is creating a share, right? To be able to create a share that allows you to go from one area to pretty much be able to put a file or a tool or an executable or something like that into it, so that whenever you move on to the internal network, you have that share that can be shared between yourself and the external network. And also that computer has 2 NICs on it, right? Network interface cards. So it can also be shared onto the internal network too. All right, this is a big deal whenever you're pivoting. To be able to create a share, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do net share, then the share name, we'll just say share. All right, we're going to grant everyone full access to it, right? Let's go ahead and make directory first for share. Then we'll go ahead and we'll throw that command in there again. We'll throw share in there. We'll grant everyone full access to it, right? We have to put in the full file path, so C share. Not a pipe, just a slash there, right? The name has already been shared. Okay, let's go ahead and do a dir. We do have a shell right there, icacls share. Okay, now looking like everyone has full access to it. That's okay so far, right? I think I also already created a share a little bit ago, and I used the name share. So I don't know if I can create it again with the name share, but we'll go ahead and we'll try it. We'll try something like this, right? We'll go ahead and we'll try to grant C share, grant everyone FT, and then we'll grant, I don't know, users. All right, let's go ahead and do that icacls again for share. And then there we go. Okay, we got everyone in there. We also have built-in users in there. So everyone has full access to that folder right there for that share, right? Maybe we could do like a CD to share or something like that. Let's go ahead and see if that actually worked and if we could actually get into that share, right? So I don't really remember any of the passwords or anything like that on this machine. So maybe I'll just, since I have an administrator, I'm just going to create a quick user. There we go. All right, and then we'll just keep him as a low priv user so we can see if we actually have access to that share or not. Okay, let's go ahead and get the Kali machine up and running here. We'll go ahead and we'll open this all the way up. And let's go ahead and see if that user actually has full share capabilities or not. We'll do an NXC SMB 192.168.0.139 tag U caret tag P password. All right, those are 139, not 138, huh? I think I want 139. I think that's the IP address. I actually don't know. All right, let's go ahead and do attack shares. As we can see that we can obviously log into it. We'll do attack shares. And okay, it actually shared share name is the actual thing that we did. Must have did it before I entered there, before I enter on share. So let's go ahead and look at that command one more time. That's share, that's why. Share name equals, okay, that's why. So it actually did share name. So we can just go ahead and make directory. We go ahead and cd backpack, make directory for share name. And now we should now have full capabilities over that. And it's set like right there, right? SMB client, TAC-L. Share name, TAC-U, caret. NT resource name not found. Let's go ahead and try that one more time with tac shares. For some reason it's taking share name and not share. Not really understanding why. Oh, probably because I did a TAC-L link right there. I have no idea why. How I actually log into it, huh? There we go. All right, cool. So we can now see that we can now pass files in that share, and we can go ahead and move those files through the share and everything like that. All right, so that's going to be the whole video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you all later.